Welcome back to Lions Den Investments and Reviews. My name is Casey. In today's video, I'm going to be covering some technical analysis on Theta and T-fuel, and we'll also cover technical analysis on Chainlink as well. Boy, what a week! Theta and T-fuel just literally left the market in the dust. I mean, I don't even know what to say about it. Um, so we'll look at that and we'll see if we're heading higher on T-fuel and Theta just based on charts. And if we get a pullback here and we start retracing on Theta and T-fuel, I'm going to let you know where I think those prices might come down to, so that we can get a better buying opportunity and go back in on Theta and T-fuel here, guys, and get ready to make some more money here. So for charts, let's start with Chainlink because right now I am in a trade on Chainlink, and it's not really doing a whole lot right now. You know, um, I was kind of hoping that it would take off and break resistance. Right here, I've got a green line where I bought in, and I bought in. If you watched the last video, I was telling you about setups and how we got this good push of buying coming in after we broke resistance. Well, we tested resistance around like 31.95. We got rejected. We came back down. Looks like we're forming a new higher low here, and then you've got a smaller support line, on the daily here. This line over here is the weekly support. So if I back out, you can see we've got an upward ascending channel essentially here. Okay, so here's your weekly support down here. So if I zoom in, I went ahead and put another line of support, where we wicked down right here and came back up on the daily. So it's a new line of support that's covering a shorter time frame essentially, and I'm looking for it to bounce off of that and then come up higher, and we'll retest this 31.96, 31.95 mark. Now, here's the thing: can we go lower? Yes. And if we break this shorter time frame of support here, we could come back down all the way to like 26.32. And this is just a hypothetical scenario, so doesn't mean it's actually going to play out. But if it does, I'm expecting maybe we come back down here to about 26.26, and we'll take a bounce off of that and then head higher and get that really big push of volume coming in on Chainlink. So we got to break the resistance here at around 31.95. Then we've got another resistance at the all-time high of around 35.71. Okay. Now, if you take the target, if we head higher here, and the possibilities of that happening are pretty high. So your odds are really good that this is probably going to head higher over the next coming week or so. But I've got a target here, and I set my target right around like $45, because that's where your upper ascending channel resistance would be. It's actually a little bit higher than that. So I set it just a little bit below that, right there around 45.73. So that's really kind of what I'm aiming for on Chainlink. Now, if we go down and we break this weekly support, you're looking at prices probably in the tunes of 24.78 to 21.15. As a good buy area, and then you would have your support down here, somewhere around like 18.31, maybe even around like $20. Okay, so I'm really hoping that doesn't happen. The other thing I want to point out is on the daily, you've got a downward trend here on the volume. Okay, and if that downward trend, if you look, it comes in waves, right? So you got a wave here, and it came up and it starts coming down and contracting. And what I'm looking for, the RSI, it's going to have to kind of correct and come back up for the volume here to kind of send us into a new wave of buying. So I'm just waiting on that. The MACD is about to cross over here. We got the crossover. So if the blue line goes crossing back over this orange, you're going to probably get some more downward movement in price, which again, like I was saying, could take us back down here, and we bounce off of this downward trend line. So that's what I'm looking for on Chainlink. Huge potential there on Chainlink, by the way. So if you're in Chainlink, just be patient. Now let's go over here to Theta and T-fuel real quick, because we literally ran up from 397, 384. That was back on March 4th. We hit an all-time new high of around $8. Okay, so we literally did a 100% move, and that's by March 11th. So literally you're looking at, you know, in a week we did a 100% move there. And just to give you an update here on the trade, the $40,000 challenge that I was doing with my friend who wants to remain anonymous here. Just to give you some numbers. So we started with 40,000. We did some money management, moved some of his money aside because we didn't want to risk some of the money that he was borrowing. Okay, because we did borrow some money, but we moved some of that aside so that we didn't have to risk that, and we kept about $38,000 in play. So as of yesterday, these are old numbers, but I just want to give you an update on it, because this is what, if you've got big bags and you're holding like Theta and T-fuel, you can do the same thing. We took $38,000, guys, and turned it into roughly about, I'm just looking at my numbers here, roughly about $100,000 in profit. Okay, now that was his portfolio. My portfolio, I took it from literally $7,700, and just as of the other day, of course these numbers are old, so they're not current as of today, but they're still pretty good. I mean, they're still close to like what I'm giving you. So I had $7,700 invested. I ended up, as of March 11th, which is yesterday, I was sitting on just between Theta and T-fuel and a couple other of my bags that I have, which are a little bit smaller. I was up to about $133,000. So these are the kind of moves and the kind of money you can make in blockchain, in the crypto space. But the key is to get in not at all-time highs, but get in on lower prices. Okay, so like with T-fuel, look what T-fuel did. We did the same thing back on March 7th. We were at like 13.82. We went all the way up to, gosh, where did we wick out here? About 48 cents, guys, almost half a dollar, and that was by March 12th. Now, back to what I was just saying, you're going to want to buy in on these lower prices. So, with that in mind, where are Theta and T-fuel going? Are they going to head higher from here, or are they going to come down? Well, let's look at our odds of the prices going higher, and you can start that by looking at the RSI. Okay, and right now we're in overbought, so anything over 69 or 70 on the RSI, you go into overbought, which means you have a lot of buyers coming in and exhausting themselves, and then people taking profits when we get into these areas above 70 on the RSI, and then it causes a sell-off and the price starts coming back down. So when you look at that from a risk factor, I don't like buying any type of asset when the RSI is up here overextended, especially like when you get up into 95 and 100 mark. That usually indicates that your price is overbought. Your people are going to start, traders are going to start selling, taking profits. And then the other thing to pay attention to are these big wicks that you get at the very top of these candle bars. So you can see it right here. You got this huge wick, okay, on T-fuel. That is a tall tale indication that you're going to get sellers that are going to start coming in and taking profits, or traders. Your price ends up dropping. So I would not, if I was looking at investing in T-fuel, I'm going to wait until these prices come down. And that brings me to the next point, which is anytime you go parabolic, guys, in price moves like this, they always revert back. Historically, if you look at charts, they always end up reverting back to where they started. Okay, so I like to just kind of go off of that as your lowest price that T-fuel could probably go to. I'm not saying it's going to go there, but if it does, historically, that's what they do, and your chances of it coming back down to like say 14 cents, where we started, are probably better than 50-50. Okay. Um, Again, though, if you want a really good buying zone on T-fuel for this retracement when we come back down, because we are going to come back down, it's just a matter of when. You could get in right here around like 25 cents down to about 19.8. Anything in there, guys, like, dude, you're getting a fire sale on TFuel because you already know where it went. So you know if you're buying in there, you know where it's gonna go back to. It will revert back from these all-time lows and go back up to those prices because we've hit new all-time highs. Okay, so that's TFuel. And again, anything in between 24 cents, 25 cents down to 13.6, man, I'd be jumping on that. And I don't even really care like where it is in that zone. But you get anything in that zone, guys, you're looking at fire sale discounts. Theta, same thing. You know, I'm looking for the price to revert back to kind of where we started. We took a bounce up, came back down, started coming in right here around $4.10, and then just shot parabolic. Right, went up to $8. I'm expecting the same thing. So a buy zone for me would be between like $5.20 on down to $3.87. So don't hold me to this. Like, this is just technical analysis. These are just my opinions. We may not even do that. We may come down, just retest the 0.50 on the fib retracement charts, and we may only hit like $5.93 and then turn around and head higher. So, uh, you know, if you want ultimate buying zones, though, that's what I'm pointing out to you here. We don't even get those. Go ahead and buy back in, but buy back in on these lower prices because your bags are going to be bigger, and then when we go back up, you're going to make a killing. Kind of, you're going to be sitting on numbers like myself and the guy that I'm doing the $40,000 challenge with, with his bags. So I don't do trading for really anybody else. I'm not even managing his money for him. He's making his own decisions. I'm just kind of, he's driving and I'm in the passenger seat. So uh, it's really interesting seeing what's happening though, because this bull run is a little bit different than the last bull run back in 2017. Okay, so the last bull run in 2017 we had Ethereum, and I want to talk about this real quick because this will lead into Ethereum and what I want to cover on Ethereum when it comes to the new upgrade for Ethereum 2.0. So back in 2017, when we had that bull run, we had Ethereum, which created this entire alt market for altcoins, and you had these ICOs, right? So people were coming out, creating their own token that was riding on the blockchain for Ethereum, and it gave birth to the DeFi space, to NFTs that you're seeing now in this bull run. Uh, but the biggest difference I'm seeing in Ethereum now in this bull run compared to the last bull run is you've got these changes that are taking place on Ethereum, okay? And Ethereum is basically trying to keep scaling its blockchain solutions and keep up with some of these other tokens like DeFi, Uniswap, Sushi Swap, Chainlink, the list goes on. But some of these other tokens are, when it comes to functionality and business use case, are just as good as Ethereum, if not better, in some aspects. So Ethereum is realizing this because their transaction speeds are essentially kind of getting clogged up on the networks. So they're trying to speed up these transaction speeds and offer new functionality to Ethereum and new features that are going to really help it in the future compete with some of these other tokens. Okay, because keep in mind, Ethereum, guys, was the major dominant token that led the entire altcoin market. So it's still trying to stay relevant. So let's talk about EIP 1559 real quick. What is EIP 1559? This is the from GitHub.com, and it's basically uh, the new changes to the protocol that they're wanting to implement. Okay, for Ethereum 1.0 and that blockchain. So if we scroll down real quick here on EIP 1559, you can see one of the biggest changes that they're trying to implement is the burn of Ethereum. Okay, now this is leading to a lot of different issues. Uh, you know, solutions to scale Ethereum 100x is imminent and will get us through until Ethereum 2, which is what Vitalik Buterin has been saying. I'll leave a link in the description below. I'm not going to go through this article because it would just take way too long. But you can go ahead and read this. He talks about the solutions to scaling. And then, like I said, is it too little, too late? Ethereum's losing decentralized finance ground to rival blockchains, like what I was just talking about. And they go in and pretty much in detail summarize what I was just saying there. And the Ethereum upgrade, here's where they're talking about, it destroying coins uh, and sparks anger among miners with some planning to fight back. Now so miners are getting angry because if you go back here to the EIP 1559, they're talking about by burning the base fee, we can no longer guarantee a fixed token supply. Okay, so you gotta remember, Ethereum, okay, when it comes to its token supply, I believe it was unlimited. Correct me if I was wrong on that. But if I go back and I remember in the Blockchain Council certification I was taking, they were talking about the supply of Ethereum being unlimited. But the burning the base fee here, we can no longer guarantee a fixed token supply. This could result in economic instability as the long-term supply of Ethereum will no longer be constant over time. While a valid concern, it is difficult to quantify how much of an impact this will have. If more is burned on base fee than is generated in mining rewards, then Ethereum will be deflationary, and if more is generated in mining rewards than is burned, then Ethereum will be inflationary. Since we cannot control user demand for block space, we cannot assert at the moment whether Ethereum will end up inflationary or deflationary, so this change causes the core developers to lose some control over Ethereum's long-term monetary policy. Okay, so that's essentially what this article is about right here, where they're talking about the Ethereum upgrade angering miners, and miners are planning to fight back. I don't know exactly what they're planning on doing, nor do I honestly really care at this point because I'm not a miner in Ethereum. Um, let's see what they have to say here. An overhaul is set to slash transaction fees for miners. Some miners are suggesting strikes or similar protests to demonstrate their opposition and strength. So the upgrade in Ethereum 2.0, guys, they're going from proof of work to proof of stake. Now, proof of stake has its own flaws. One of those being that the rich get richer. And what I'm going to say here kind of backs that up. So with Ethereum 2.0, they're talking about you have to have 32 Ethereum in order to stake and earn more Ethereum so that you can get a yield or a return on your Ethereum. That return comes back to you in the form of more Ethereum. But you have to have 32 of them. So you have to have a lot of money at current prices here on Ethereum, you know, $1,780. You got to have, I don't know, let's just add it up real quick. So you got to have, just to stake Ethereum, you got to have $56,960 just to stake. So that goes back to the whole proof of work moving to proof of stake, where the rich get richer. Well, if you don't have $56,000, you're not gonna be able to stake your Ethereum. So only the people that are richer are gonna benefit from that, and so it takes a lot of those rewards away from miners, and that's why these miners I think are getting upset because they're just like, whoa, dude, how can you do that? Um, it'll be interesting to see what they do because the other part of the scaling solution is to do sharding on the Ethereum network, which is where you basically break off your miners into groups, okay, and they're basically mining transactions in groups based forked off of the main blockchain. So they're in groups called parachains that are offset from the main blockchain there, and so they're in these groups and they're mining, and they're all mining the same transactions, of course, So your transaction speeds are increased significantly by doing that. And when they confirm the transactions, they throw them back on the blockchain. Um, so that's kind of the concept behind sharding, and that's another solution for layer two that they're trying to implement on Ethereum 2.0. Um, the last article I want to talk about here is from Anthony Scaramucci. He said, "I'm only focused on Bitcoin, the big dog." Okay, so keep in mind again, you know, when it comes to investing, you're going to see a lot of news coming out on all these different projects, and you've had a lot of big investors like this guy say that Bitcoin is the fastest horse in the race, essentially, because it has dominance over the rest of the crypto market. So if you're somebody who's new to the market, you really don't know what to do, you have no idea what these projects are about, you can always invest in Bitcoin, okay? Because it is being considered a digital gold or store of value, that you can get into. Now, I'm gonna give you the heads up though. If you're investing in Bitcoin right now, Bitcoin is very slow in transaction speed. Okay, it's kind of like the concept model for Tesla. Okay, before they started creating their electric cars, that's the analogy I'll use. It's the concept model for most of these blockchain projects that came to fruition, during the 2017 bull run. If it wasn't for Bitcoin, none of that would have been around. So just keep that in mind, because if you buy Bitcoin, you're probably gonna be waiting for a little bit before your transactions are confirmed. So I don't want to spook you here. If you've already bought and you're still waiting on your transaction to confirm, that's why. But this is Anthony Sacramucci. He's the Skybridge co-founder and former White House commissions director. He said he's all in on Bitcoin, and only Bitcoin because it's so hard to combat crypto FUD. So he's talking about fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Um, this market's very volatile, so you get a lot of news out there, and some of the stuff I'm talking about with Ethereum, with the scaling solutions and the news coming out, could be nothing more than fear, uncertainty, and doubt. It's there to kind of get the price of Ethereum going down a little bit. People trading and speculating on Ethereum end up losing money, because most people buy at the top and then sell at the bottom. So try to avoid that. Try not to look at FUD. One thing I do to try to avoid FUD is I concentrate on the business aspects and the use case between uh, you know between, like, say, Ethereum and Chainlink, right? I'll just go in and do some research on it, try to figure out, like, what are they doing, that kind of stuff. It kind of gets my mind off of watching the charts and paying attention to some of this other FUD that you see coming out, with people talking about, oh my God, Bitcoin's at all-time highs, it's going to crash, this and that. Because if you follow this channel, guys, I've been saying for a long time that the overall market sentiment when it comes to macro, fundamentals and economics are all aligned to make Bitcoin and crypto market overall go much much higher than it is right now. And I've been proving that to you by showing you evidence of what's coming. So don't get spooked here. And let me just reiterate real quick on the FUD, because again, markets being volatile, they're going to go up and down, they're going to shake you. And what do I always say? I always tell you, have no fear. Fear nothing, my friends. And with that said, that's all I've got for today. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And again, I'll leave links in the description here for you so that you can read over these articles. And with that said, you guys have a great weekend.